What's up, YouTube? It's the Void here. I have my very first ever Pokemon Wi-Fi battle for you guys. Um, so yeah, this was a battle against what's his name? Battle Power 66. I'm sorry. Wow, Battle Power 777. Sorry, I've just been doing other stuff. I don't know the hotkey to get to the bag yet. I'm still learning how to use Desmumi because I don't really use it. So just bear with me for a minute. But yeah, so this was a Ubers match. Um, I I challenged him. I saw that he had a couple of Ubers matches on his channel, so I challenged him. There, and now we can see it. As you can see, his main sweeper obviously is Garchomp and Excadrill. Those are obviously his main sweepers. Looking at my team, looking at his team, his only real threat to me was that Garchomp. I mean, I didn't have the greatest answers to Excadrill, but Excadrill isn't the strongest Pokemon in the world, so I could have taken it out with with a probably with a Choice Scarfed Earthquake off of Garchomp, or with a Rain Boosted Surf off of Kyogre, or something like that. I mean, it wasn't too big of a threat because we had the Weather War here, so I wasn't really too worried about that. I didn't know what kind of Arceus it was, really the entire match. I asked him after the match what kind of Arceus it was. I couldn't figure it out. Um, I don't know why I can figure it out. The more I think about it, it's pretty obvious. I mean, a good friend of mine even said what type it probably is, and I didn't think that she was right. And it turns out that she actually was. So looking at his team, I figured he's probably going to lead with the Tyranitar. So I chose to lead with my Blaziken. So here we go. So I'm challenged by Ole. This is BattlePower777. Again, link in the description. I'm not really too sure how to speed this up yet, so I will learn how to do that. But I'm gonna lead off with Mr. Chicken. This is my speed boost Blaziken. And he leads off with his Arceus. It was really surprising. I really thought, considering how it's a sand team, that he would lead off with the Tyranitar to get his sand up right at the beginning. So I'm just going to protect here. For the speed boost, you can kind of scout and see what he's going to do, because I know that Arceus can be both physical or special. I really didn't know what kind of Arceus this was, so I wanted to scout and see what we're going to do. He goes for the spatial rend, well, because which tells me that's a special Arceus, so I get the speed boost. I don't think I can outspeed this Arceus, because I'm pretty sure that Arceus is faster than Mewtwo, and I can't outspeed a Mewtwo after +1 speed. In my experience, I could be wrong on that, but in my experience, I can't outspeed a +1 Mewtwo, +1 against Mewtwo. So I go into my Pokénurse, my Blissey, because this is obviously a special tank, like all Blisses are. So I take that Spatial Rend like it's nothing. I mean, look at this. This is like absolutely nothing here. I take that I take 60 damage off of that. That is absolutely nothing. I heal up almost back to full off of leftovers. So I'm predicting the switch because obviously, he's a special Arceus. He can't do crap to Blissey. So on the switch, I'm gonna set up my rocks because this is a black and white 2 battle, as the title is going to say. So we have black and white 2 move tutors. So I'm gonna set up my rocks off of my Pokénurse, because Pokénurse has rocks in black and white 2. So this actually isn't even a standard Blissey. You guys will see that a little bit later. But for right now, I know that the crunch is coming, or the earthquake or something. I don't want to take that on the Blissey, so I really wish I knew how to speed this up. That's actually going to be the question for the day. How do you guys speed up Death Movie? I have no idea how to do it. You guys can just leave a comment for me. That'd be great. If I can figure it out and I can start to speed it up for future battles, so it's not this freaking slow. And so I'm going to switch the hell out of here. I go into my physical wall. Actually, not even really physical wall. It just has a great physical defense. My Solitude, predicting the crunch, because I resist the crunch. He actually goes for the low kick. I was not expecting that at all, but I guess in Ubers, most things weigh a lot anyway. And that does a decent chunk, but it's not really too much. Now here was a very, very huge misplay. Hindsight's always 20/20. This is a misplay that really cost me the entire game here, in my opinion. He switches out. I knew that he was going to switch out. He goes into Giratina. I knew that I can set up on this Giratina all day. I knew that for a fact. I had no doubt about that. But what do? I set up the 1 second here. I set up the it's really annoying. I set up the spikes. Um, that was a big misplay because I did not get up my dual layers of toxic spikes, which really cost me the entire game. I'll explain that more later on in the the video. I can see this being a really long video because I can't speed this up. This is actually a 30 turn match. A lot of it was stalling, I'm not gonna lie, but it was still a 30 turn match. I'm very sorry about that, guys. So with Giratina, I gained some off leftovers. I heal up a little bit off the leftovers. I wasn't really too sure what he's gonna do. So I just went for another layer of spikes. I didn't want to reveal the protect on the Solitude, the Scout, what he's gonna do. Um, because I figured the worst they could do is, Dragon Tail or roar me out or something. I mean, I'm not afraid of this Giratina at all. Um, so I set the second layer of spikes, and again, this is a major misplay. If I had set up my toxic spike here, I would have probably won this match because his biggest threat is the Garchomp, and he wouldn't have been able to sweep with it if it's toxic poison. Because then I can just stall it out. Because I have two Pokemon with Protect. I could have just stalled it for days. Um, and just let that toxic damage build up. But anyway, so I went for the second layer of spikes, and now I think I go for the third layer here. Maybe I switch. I'm not even too sure. No, he switches as I go for the third layer into his Arceus. Now I know that Arceus that his Arceus is special. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I say it on this thing or not. I don't really remember. I know that I am a specially bulky fortress. Even though a fortress's special defense isn't very good, it's some max special defense. Because because most of the Uber's metagame is special attacking. So I don't really want to be too physical. So I'm pretty sure I switch out here into my my Poke Nurse. I'm not really too sure. As soon as it wants to catch up. I'm really sorry that this takes so long. I really wish I knew how to speed up this movie. I'm gonna look it up online later. But actually, no, I protected here. This is where I revealed the protect, just to kind of scout and see what he's gonna do. He goes for the Fire Blast. I wasn't too sure if he had the Fire Blast. I thought like he might not even have a fire move at all and just be, just trying to scare me out. But there I do confirm the Fire Blast. I'm not really too sure what to switch into here. I was debating about going into Mr. Chicken, going into Pinky, the Kyogre. I wasn't really too sure what I wanted to switch into here. I thought about it for a couple seconds, and I did switch into the Poke Nurse, because the Poke Nurse is just the Poke Nurse. She's pretty chill. He was for the Judgment actually, and this again I didn't know what type this Arceus was. The entire match I didn't know what kind it was. I thought it was ice until I saw it take almost nothing off the stealth rank damage. I didn't realize that it might be water. For some reason, water just didn't cross my mind. But this is actually an Arceus water. The entire game I thought it was ice until I saw it didn't take anything off the stealth rank damage. And I was like, okay, what the hell is this thing? That Stab Judgment does a decent chunk, but not really too much. So then he goes into the Excadrill. And I predicted him to go into something that would something that could safely switch into Blizzard. I was really hoping for the Garchomp, but he goes into the Excadrill. This really wasn't a bad play. For me, because this isn't a standard Blissey, like I said. This is actually a special attacking Blissey. With the Charge Beam and Ice Beam, it's a Serene Grace Blissey. So the idea is to go on something that you think that it's just gonna tank on, like, I don't know, something special that usually it'll just be a long ass battle. But then I set up some Charge Beams, get to like +3, +4, and then start Ice Beaming shit. And I usually take out a couple Pokemon. But he went into the Excadrill and popped the Air Balloon, which is pretty good. But I go into I'm Not a Ghost. The reason why the slow question mark and stuff is because it's actually too big of a nickname. I have to rename it later on PokeGen. But this is my only physical wall, my Giratina. Um, and he's gonna go for the Earthquake. The Earthquake isn't gonna do too much. It's gonna do, I don't know, like almost nothing actually. Actually a pretty decent chunk. But not really too much. I was hoping that he'd stay in here and go for another one, but I knew that he wouldn't because obviously it wasn't going to be a KO. Um, I mean, Extra was very powerful, but it wasn't going to KO. Um, if that didn't KO, so he's going to switch out as I go for the Will-O-Wisp. Hoping that he's staying. He goes into his Mewtwo. Um, here I go for the Will-O-Wisp as the Mewtwo comes in. Just one moment for all the entry hazard damage. Um, Pressure. And yeah. Okay, so I go for the Wisp, and I missed, which really wasn't a big problem at all. I was debating about going back into Blissey, but I know that Mewtwo's like to carry Psy Strike, and that's, so I would be suiciding my Blissey. So I really thought about it for a couple minutes. I thought Another Ghost is probably the best thing that I want to fight this. Actually, no, I'm sorry. What do I do here? I think I switch out actually. Yeah, I switch out. So the thing that I really don't mind too much if it gets taken out, and that's my Solitude. Wait, I was really fearing the Flamethrower, but I figured he wouldn't Flamethrower against the Giratina. And now, so I take the obvious Ice Beam, um, which does like decent damage. I mean, it's coming from a Mewtwo. It's resisted, but still, it's from a Mewtwo. I mean, Mewtwo is just a freaking boss as it is. Mewtwo has massive special attack. It's just a boss of a Pokemon. So I heal up a little bit with the leftovers, and I take even more of the burn. So I'm down to 141. I decided to just scout and look for the Flamethrower, see if he has it. Um, and he goes for, I think, another Ice Beam, which shows that he doesn't have the Flamethrower. Which is really good because that lets me set up some more entry hazards. But this is, again, where the lack of the toxic spikes early on really screwed me up, because I think at this point, at the second or third turn, toxic damage does more than 3 spike layers. So I mean, that was the biggest mistake of the entire game. Because now he brings in the 19. I survive. I get up my first layer of toxic spikes. Which is, I mean, one layer is pretty good, of course. But it's not the best, because the toxic damage is so much better than regular poison. Regular poison, I think 1/16 of your health, and toxic goes up by 1/16 more each turn. So if I die to my burn, I wanted to let Solitude die to get a safe switch, because I knew I can take out this Mewtwo, and that Sandstorm was really helping me out. So I go into Pinky, my Kyogre, and I figured if this Mewtwo is Scarfed, it's locked into Ice Beam anyway, and if not, then I'm going to outspeed. So he stays in here to kind of check and see if I'm Scarfed, because Mewtwo is much faster than Kyogre is. But I go for the Ice Beam, predicting the switch into something. Like, I don't know, I was predicting to maybe go into Giratina to resist the Surf or the Water Spout, depending on what he thought I had. But I didn't. I just been sure with the Ice Beam. So he goes into the Tyranitar. To reset up his Sand. And here I'm going to make a switch out, because I don't want to lose my weather yet. I don't want to lose the Weather War. I want to take out this Tyranitar. And with all my entry hazards, it can only switch in a couple more times. So he gets poisoned, he takes all the entry hazard damage, and then sets up a Sandstorm. Now,
I thought about this for a little while. I really wasn't too sure, and even to this point, I'm not too sure. I haven't done calcs. I don't know the special defense, and I don't really want to look it up. But I don't think that a modest ice beam can take out a Tyranitar that's not even below half yet in the sandstorm, because sand does increase the special defense of your rock type Pokemon. So yeah, I go into I'm not a ghost here. As he sets up his rocks, and I mean late game rocks are better than no rocks at all. And it's still I think a 5-5 game at this point. It's 17 turns in, so it's still a 5-5 game. So it's really not that late of a game. Um, so he's going. No, so I think that he stays in for a crunch. I'm not too sure. I really should have rested here to kind of see and scout and see what he's going to do. But a big problem I've noticed is that this Giratina has too many weaknesses. I don't really have anything else to take physical hits. So I'm going to switch out Giratina for something else that can resist Dragon. Dragon's really too common. That can still be a physical wall. Or even if not resisted, just take neutral hits to it. Because, I mean, I don't know. I find Dragon to be too big of a threat. But anyway, so I take the crunch. Actually, I think pretty well. I don't really remember. Not too well. I mean, I'm still in yellow, so yeah. So and then here I'm gonna go for the roar. I have roar over Dragon Tail because I had too many instances where I got sub-stalled because you can't Dragon Tail away a substitute. And this was the absolute worst thing I could award him into was the Garchomp. He said after the match, and I completely agree with him here. The only thing that he needed was to get a safe switch into his Garchomp to have the entire game won. And that's exactly what he got here when I roared him into that Garchomp. Because this Garchomp is such a massive threat. Because he is, I mean, I had no doubt, and he confirmed it later on, that this was a standard Scarf Garchomp. Mine isn't standard. I mean, mine's max speed, max attack, but it's a adamant Garchomp. Most Scarf Chomps are jolly, so his was guaranteed to outspeed mine, so I had no counters to this thing. So he just goes for the Outrage, which has the sickest animation in Generation 5 in my opinion, or in Pokemon right now in my opinion. But he goes for the Scarfed Outrage and just wrecks my freaking Giratina. I mean, just wrecks it. Now the problem here was that I had nothing to take that. My Steel type was dead. I had nothing to take a Scarf Outrage. So he gets hurt by the poison. I go into Mr. Chicken. I was really hoping to get the double protect here. That's honestly what I was hoping to do, and you'll see it in a second. Because at +2, I'm pretty sure that Mr. Chicken can outspeed a Scarf Chomp, even Jolly. And then I would have taken it with a high jump kick. So I go for the protect, really just hoping to take this thing out at the second one. As he outrages, he misses. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have gone into Mr. Chicken right away, but I didn't want to sacrifice more than I had to. But I really should have gone to something else, probably even Kyogre, to change the weather again. Maybe even something else, I don't even know. But just to let him get confused from the outrage, because then that could have helped me out a lot with getting the double protect off. But I mean, he's locked in that outrage. Because I protected, he starts his outrage counter over again. I go for the second protect. I don't get it, which is, I mean, I was really going for hacks, but so at this point, I knew that it was just a matter of time until this Garchomp went down. And this is where the toxic spikes really mattered. If I had up the second layer of toxic spikes, he would have died either last turn or this turn. I'm not sure which one off the top of my head. I haven't done the calculations for it, but he would have gone down at most this turn. I would have just lost Mr. Chicken, and that would have been it. So I looked at his team, and I figured that my Pokémon was probably the most useless thing I had. I was really hoping, but I knew that he wouldn't. I was really hoping that he would go down to the Toxic here.
or that I would somehow survive a Garchomp stabbed outrage, but I knew that I wouldn't. So, I tossed out my Noni Notes for Deathfire. Takes an outrage, like a fat pink nurse thing. I don't even know. My Poke Nurse is just, wrecked there. She goes down to 0. So, that's a destroyed Poke Nurse. And then I'm going to go into my... Because he's not dead, I was thinking maybe... I mean, the entire game, I think that he did count afterwards. I didn't think I could take an outrage on Pinky. I don't know why, and even if I did, I didn't want to be too low on health. I wanted to see if I could take him down with the toxic poison. But that was really my second crucial mistake, was that I didn't go into Pinky first. Because he said because I could have taken out this Garchomp when I was locked in the outrage before. So instead of going into Mr. Chicken before, I could have gone to Pinky, taken the outrage and then Ice Beam that took out this Garchomp. But I didn't do that. So I'm thinking maybe I can survive, maybe I can survive it. I'm going down, didn't do the calcs, going down, praying, going to 0, got a critical hit. Turns out that crit really mattered, which really sucked. Because if he didn't get that crit, I could have switched out into my my own Garchomp after I took out his. Proceeded to deal some damage. And then when he went into his Excadrill, because that would have been the only thing that could outspeed my Garchomp in the will be an Excadrill in the sand. I would have probably taken out the Tyranitar in the meantime. Then I could have gone back into my my Kyogre and surfed, Scarf surfed, and won the game. Or Ice Beam, or locked myself in the Ice Beam and won the game. So that was really that was really crucial right there. I go into Chompy. This is my last Pokemon, and this comes out to really be a stall battle here on last couple of turns. Because I go for the Earth. Looking at his team, I was debating about Outrage, and I decided Excadrill resists the Outrage, and it's not low enough where even after entry hazards I'll be able to take it out. I don't think. I mean, granted, it's from a Garchomp, but still a resisted Outrage. It's a resisted hit. If anybody wants to run calcs after this battle for me, give you a rough estimation as to where its health was at, and then you can tell me if that Outrage may have killed it or not. But I mean, this is an adamant Garchomp. This is why I didn't go into it before. If it was Jolly, I would have gone for the speed tie and see who got the bigger hack. But it was adamant, so it really sucks. So now I'm locking the Outrage because I'm Scarfed, and this is my last Pokemon. If I was locked in, I'm locked in the Earthquake. If I was locked in the Outrage, rather, I could have won this one easily. But he goes into Giratina, takes all the entry hazard damage, gets poisoned, and then he's going to go for the... Well, and then I'm going to go for the Earthquake. I'm really hoping that maybe at this range I can take it out. And not get Wisp, because getting Wisp is just going to completely cripple the Garchomp. And I mean, had I gotten a crit here, I probably would have won it. Something. I mean, there are a couple points where hacks could have gotten me the game. Like right here, I could have won it, or if I got the second Protect, I could have won it. I mean, I really screwed this match up pretty badly. But hindsight's 2020. I was really tired. I was helping out a friend of mine at the same time. I wasn't 100% focused on the match, and it's really my fault. But I even after the Toxic, this freaking Giratina survived the Earthquake, and that really, really sucked. I mean, look at that. I mean, he survives with like red health, and then he's just going to take my burnt Earthquake like it's absolutely garbage, like it's nothing. It was so... Holy cow, this Giratina is so bulky. Look at this. Stab Earthquake, because I'm burnt against this bulky as balls freaking Ghost Dragon, dead fucking dragon ghost thing. Takes it like, look at that. It did almost nothing. There was such a sliver of health left. I'm like, oh my god. I was so upset when I saw that. I'm like, no, I was so close to taking out the stupid Giratina. Because had I taken this thing out, I wouldn't have won, but I wouldn't have lost so definitively. Um, I mean, I wouldn't have won either, but I wouldn't have lost so definitively. I mean, it still wasn't that bad of a loss, all things considered. He didn't really want to stall battle here. I probably should have ran at this point, but I didn't want to, quit. I wanted to, I fight to the end. I mean, even at this point, 2 crit earthquakes wouldn't take out the Giratina, and then he can just wake up and rest again. So, I had no outs to this thing at all. I was screwed. But let's see here. Still waiting for everything to catch up. And then he is, well, and then I think that now he switches out. No, I earthquake again. Does like almost nothing again. I really want to speed this up. I should know how. Still fast asleep. Guys, I'm sorry for the long video. Like I said, I don't know how to speed this up yet. He goes for the sleep talk. I didn't even see him do this, to be honest, in the match. But he goes for, well, he gets the Will-O-Wisp. He has either Dragon Tail or Roar, probably. I'm going to guess the former, the Dragon Tail, because that's more common. I have the Roar because I was sick again substalled, but, I don't know. He might have the Dragon Tail. It didn't really matter too much, but you never know. So, yeah. So, enemy gets hit by the burn. A lot of after-turn effects going on here. And look at that. That earthquake. She's almost back up at full health already. So I'm going to go for another earthquake. This is getting really, really long. I'm so sorry for this part, guys. I mean, I probably should have ran. Because I'm pretty sure that even 3 crit earthquakes wouldn't have taken out this freaking Giratina. That's my burn and everything. He goes for another sleep talk. I think he has another Will-O-Wisp. I don't even know. Yeah, he got another Will-O-Wisp. And then here, yeah, here he's gonna switch out now. As you approach turn 29, it's 3-1 at this point. I believe 3-1. Arceus, Garchomp, and Mewtwo. Yeah, it's a 3-1. I took out Arceus, Garchomp, and Mewtwo already. So he's gonna withdraw, go into his T-Tar, and the T-Tar is going to get destroyed by entry hazards, and then the Earthquake, and it's going to go down, so he gets a safe switch into his Excadrill for game. So that's the battle. Just let it catch up now. The common question of the day for you guys, since this is my first battle, I want to know what tier you guys want me to play in. I really, really enjoy the Ubers tier. I'll probably be doing a lot of those matches, but I want to do other tiers too, depending on what you guys like. I'm really good in Black and White 2 OU. I'm very bad in Black and White OU for some reason. Black and White 2 I'm really good in. So I'll probably do some of those. Maybe a little NU or UU and stuff. I mean, just let me know what you want me to do, so I can focus on that for you guys. My next battle will probably be another Ubers because I want to find another Ubers match. I'm going to make a couple of changes to this team. I have a couple ideas already. I mean, the team isn't really completely set in stone. I'll be changing stuff like every now and then. Yeah. So the question is, what tier do you guys want me to do? Thank you all for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you, BattlePower777, for the great match. It was a lot of fun, even though it came down to, me screwing up big time. Like I said, I really screwed up with the Kyogre play and stuff, and the toxic spikes. But I'm still learning. I mean, I've only been playing competitive for a couple months. I'm still learning. So just, give me time. I will get to be a better battler, and these battles will get much better. So, yeah, rate, comment, sub, and then goes Garchomp. Rate, comment, sub,
hit that like button because that will help my video get noticed. And yeah, that's it for the battle. So also check out BattlePower777, and I'll see you soon, guys.